following show is a paid program.
Thank you so much, family, for joining the Cam Hill Show. Today we have Damon Coleman, CEO of Essentiables, Feminine Sanitary Napkins. Shout out to Ebony Porter Ike, Epi Media Group, for connecting us on today. Hey, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, Cam. How are you?
Man, I'm so excited. After reading all of this information, after reading about you from prison inmate to business mogul, you have got to tell us how that came about.
Wow. Well, I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, but I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up in a very drug-infested neighborhood called Kinloch. And Kinloch was one of the first all-black. It was the first all-black flourishing city in the United States of America. So I grew up in a very historical community. However, by the 80s, it was completely drug infested, became otherwise known as the jungle. And I grew up in a culture where, guys that looked like me got ahead in the streets. And so I had a vision at the age of 10 years old, of wanting to sell drugs, not because I thought it was cool, but because I thought it was a way of having the freedom and the lifestyle and the choices, I always wanted to have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And looking at that, looking at your actual platform now, going into business, let's talk about that. Just starting off in the business, how did that come about? You get out of prison. Now it's time. You're out in the world now.
Well, I love that question because it started back then, man.
Mm-hmm.
It started when my mom married my stepfather. I was 8 years old. We moved out of Kinloch into another historical community called Ferguson. That's where Mike Brown was shot in the back by the police officer. The riots and everything took place. So we moved to Ferguson to a single family home from the projects, and it was about 900 square feet. However, we had a single car garage and a driveway, front yard, start shoveling grass, raking leaves, and all that kind of stuff. And by junior high, I was selling candy to keep up with my friends who were already selling drugs. So I'd already started off as an entrepreneur at a very young age. Cam, by the time I was 13, my dad got clean from drugs and bought me some clippers and told me to do the best I could with cutting my hair. Because he couldn't really afford to take me out to get my hair cut like I liked. And so I became a self-taught barber, did that throughout high school, but also at the age of 15 is when I got in the streets. And that's when a lot of things changed for me dramatically, getting involved, in distribution of drug sales, man. And started off with marijuana, but obviously it escalated as I got older. And by the age of 24, I got indicted. And they put me on, by the age of 24, I left a little gap. I stopped selling drugs from 20 to 24 because I got married at the age of 21. And at the age of 24, got back into the streets. And at the age of 28, that's when I got indicted. However, when I got indicted, I'd already developed a skill of flipping houses. I have boarding houses in St. Louis where I used to rent out rooms. So when you look at post-prison, getting out, and how I got into sanitary napkins. Now, when I got introduced to the concept, it was a dream come true. Number one, because I saw it solving a major problem for our women, which we could talk about in detail a little further. But number two, Cam, I saw it being one of the number one residual products in the world. And I've been hustling since I've been a little boy, obviously. And so at the age of 44, you look for opportunities that will pay you residually after the work is done. And when I saw that we could solve some problems on a very high level for many women and children all over the world, I say, this is going to be my $1 billion opportunity to fund everything that I've always wanted to do, because I did not dream of selling sanitary napkins.
When I saw that and I read that, it's called Essentiables. And
Yes.
looking at it and looking at what your process was and why you did it, let's talk about the thought process behind it. Let's talk about why you started. I know your mom, sisters, family members. You were looking at that. Let's talk
Daughters.
about that. Daughters, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I mean, again, I don't want to be fake and phony. People come on these interviews and it's, oh my gosh, the people, I was so concerned and everything. Guys, let's get right to it. I am
Yeah.
a businessman first, but because before I can talk about how much I love my family and my mom and my sister, I have to be able to provide.
Right.
my sole responsibility as a man is to provide and to protect, and number one, provide. Because if you don't provide, there's nothing to protect.
Right.
No wife, no children, no house. You ain't
They're
protecting nothing,
gone.
Jack. If you broke.
They're gone.
So when I got invited to Asia, it was to be a VP of a coffee company, man, which I thought, and having partnered with Organo Gold, we talked about that before the interview. I made my first $1 million with that company. It was a network marketing company that had a concept of a healthy coffee, and you couldn't have told me in a million years that wasn't the last MLM I would do, that would fund all of my dreams and goals, because coffee is a residual product. Well, it was a great concept, but that model didn't quite work out. And so, going back to my real estate endeavors, again, having a residual mindset, I know as long as the sun is going up and down, people are going to need a place to stay. I know as long as the sun is going up and down, people are going to drink coffee. And when I saw the concept of a healthier, drier, far more comfortable sanitary napkin in Asia, after finding out what the traditional pads have been doing to our women and children, including tampons, I said, oh no, I'm about to become a multi-billionaire getting this back to the United States. Now, the byproduct of the business will be my sisters, my daughters, my nieces, and thousands, and I believe millions of women all over the world will have a better, more comfortable cycle because of this amazing concept that I've been exposed to. And so, started off as businessman, but it has become very much so mission driven, because when you hear the testimonials of these women and these children who are having these horrible cycles because of some of the poor manufacturing practices that these guys, that they have.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the toxins inside, the chlorines, the dioxin, plastics, furans, recycled trash. I mean, the list goes on and on of different companies with various manufacturing practices that are not in the best interest of our women. And if you go on the CDC website, you will find so many statistics. If you go on WebMD and you type in sanitary napkins, harmful effects, or tampons, harmful effects. So this is not Damon Coleman blowing the whistle. This is Damon Coleman having an answer to the whistle that has been blown for a couple of decades that not many people have done anything about.
Absolutely. I looked at extensive video of you, extensive work that you've been doing. You speak about the sanitary napkin and you talk about the chlorine. You talk about the byproducts and things that are in there. You also talk about how much, just based on each one of them, the ones that may be in the stores right now, and then the essentials, about the drying of it, of what's touching the skin and things like that. You really extensively go into it. Why so?
Because women and men, we found we need to be educated, man.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be educated and we need to be informed, because this is a challenge. There's not a man that I know that has a woman in his life that if he loves and care about her, he will withhold information that could help her live a healthier life. Not one man I've ever met, whether he has a daughter, a sister, a mom, an aunt, or he's just a humanitarian overall. But typically we share information with the people we love and care about the most. And to have a man And there are a lot of men who are single fathers right now. There are a lot of men who are playing dual roles in the home because the mom is working. And so
Right.
all the responsibility is not. So we have to be educated. We need to know that many of the sanitary napkins and tampons that are out there, we don't drop names, guys, because we're not
Right.
trying to go to war with any
Right.
of these companies. But if you do your own due diligence, you will find out there's multiple manufacturers who use chlorine to bleach the products that your mom, your sister, your daughters are using, guys. Why? So that they can have a white appearance that looks sanitary, right? If
Right.
we see white, we think of sanitized. We go in a hospital, we see white. Well, in hospitals, everything is enclosed and mostly everything is cotton.
Hmm.
Why? Because you don't have to bleach cotton, because you don't have to chemically infuse cotton for it to do what it was designed to do. And so our product, Essentiables sanitary napkins, guys, we use cotton as a top layer because we understand that a lot of these companies use, guys, synthetic materials on the outer layer of their products, which causes chafing. But these synthetic materials also have to be bleached to become white. Cotton, we don't have to bleach it, guys. We have a super absorbency system that allows you guys to be comfortable, but most importantly, confident, because we also found out, Cam, through focus groups, that a lot of women deal with embarrassments starting from grade school to junior high to the boardroom. And they don't want to use tampons. They don't want to have to use, basically diapers to be dry. And so when my business partner, who's an engineer, guys, redesigned this concept that we discovered in Asia and made modifications to it, we believe we have the driest and one of the most comfortable sanitary napkins on the planet. But we pride ourselves, Cam, is that we don't bleach our product. We don't use those synthetic materials that, again, have been causing a lot of challenges.
Absolutely. You speak on the packaging too. And in the packaging, I understand that some of the others have holes in them for the fumes to come out. Yours are packaged completely. I understand that.
Yes, and so if it's a sanitary napkin, that means you don't want it exposed. And
Right.
what we found out is a lot of the leading brands, when you take them out of the big package, okay, they're in the individual packages, but the individual packages are open. They just have a little piece of tape keeping it closed. Well, when ladies put them in their pocketbooks, all type of debris gets inside, from hairpins to pennies to food crumbs, and then now you're using it and it's not sanitary anymore. So
Right.
ours come completely sealed so that it's not exposed until you actually open it. And so there's a demonstration. It's kind of, this is my first time doing an interview about Essentiables without being able to show the video. But what I can tell you guys is when you see the live demonstration, it makes it all make sense. Because we had a live demonstration video that got over 100 million views and went viral on Facebook and YouTube with my former brand called Cherish. So I am the original founder of Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkins. I brought Cherish to the world with my network marketing company called Inspire Network. So I sold Inspire Network. I kept ownership of Cherish. And so I've decided to repackage, rebrand. So Essentiables is an even, how can I say it, more comfortable, even more technology driven
Right.
than Cherish.
Okay, okay, because I read about Cherish and I understand what you're talking about. What I did look at too is that you speak about the side effects of sanitary napkins. I thought that information is what I'd like for, especially women now, to understand what does this mean to them,
Okay.
fibroids and just all type of things.
So, again, very great area, guys, in terms of these giants. These guys do over $54 billion a year in this space. And so, being a startup company, we have had a little bit of bullying because of our messages. Receiving huge packages from major corporations, not a cease and desist, not a lawsuit. And so when we sent it to our attorney, they said they just want you guys to shut up. Because if they had something here, they would either, file a cease and desist or a complaint or lawsuit against you guys. And none of that has ever happened. Here's why, guys. If you do your own due diligence through WebMD, through Google, through YouTube, through all the major search engines, whichever one you trust the most, and you type in harmful effects of sanitary napkins and tampons, or you put in sanitary napkins slash fibroids, sanitary napkins slash hysterectomies, sanitary napkins slash any major sicknesses or illnesses, some guys that could even lead to death. I don't have to, talk about what that big C is, but these products have been associated, okay, as a contributing cause to some of these challenges that our women and children have been having, not to exclude even endometriosis, guys.
Right.
And so this is why we are an anti-tampon company, guys. Again, we, from consulting with the doctors, guys, and all the medical professionals, they all have told us there's no such thing as a safe use of a tampon, because even if it's organic, there's something called micro tears. So every time that tampon is extracted from a woman's vagina, little tiny microscopic tears are happening inside of her vaginal walls. Now, for some women, it may not ever propose an issue or challenge, but for some women, it proposes great challenges, even challenges as minor as vaginal dryness, which we know could be major. So again, we've been getting, I get pressure from even my friends asking to come out with the tampon, and I keep telling them no. Guys, we don't have to do that to not only become a very successful company, but also to service our women.
Absolutely. I love what you're doing, because after reading everything about it, I thought for sure that our culture, our race or so needed to know what's happening. We don't get the information up front. Unfortunately, we just don't take the time or have the time sometimes in just educating ourselves. And that's why I wanted this one on this day to know about it.
You said something very profound. Essentiables is for all women,
Yes.
all races, guys, all people, whoever needs,
Absolutely.
that protection. Now, here's the importance of why women of color, and particularly, need to be educated, is because you are number one in the cases of fibroids, and you are number one in the case of hysterectomies in the United States of America, yet you make up one of the smallest populations of people.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you spoke about that, because this is so serious, and many times we don't find out until it's closer to the end. It's not early detection.
And this is why, guys, I've had challenges after challenges launching my company. I'm very transparent about my journey because, again, Cam, you said in the beginning, man, this is not just about business, brother, and all the great
Right.
things you've done. We also like to inspire. So I'm not coming on here as
Right.
if we haven't had. One of the reasons we've had a lot of the challenges is because the mission is so big. The big companies, they don't want us moving forward. And a lot of people are ignorant, guys. And so this is why our first target market will be teenagers. You know why? Because teenagers, guys, they are more health conscious than we would ever be. You know why? Because they have access to the information way faster than we ever did coming up as kids. The internet is incredible. And these kids are telling, I have my have my teenage daughters telling me, oh, Dad, we don't eat meat. I'm like, well, you don't buy groceries either. So what you gonna do? But all they gotta do, Cam, is see one video, read one article, and they're like, oh, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we want to target the children because they will become young adults, and we want to help to eliminate as many of these challenges as humanly possible.
Absolutely. I'm glad you're saying that, because this will keep us healthier with the knowledge. If we have knowledge, we're healthier with our knowledge.
Yes, sir. Applied knowledge is power.
It
Yes,
is.
indeed.
It is. What have you learned along the way through this whole journey as we're coming up to now?
Going. Keep going. Man, in May of 2019, in this beautiful home that we were able to build in 2010, in the middle of a recession, 2 years after getting out of federal prison, through the vehicle of network marketing. So why did I just say all of that? Number one, people don't believe in network marketing. Number two, made more money in network marketing in the recession than most people made in their careers. Number three, built a home during the recession with the network marketing company and got a deal out of this freaking world. Okay, so just a little, just wanted to drop that seed on somebody that's listening that might be questioning, do these things really work? Well, these things work on a very high level. However, these things happen sometimes where it don't work out the way that you wanted it to. And so after starting my own company, man, making millions of dollars in this industry, Cam, I found myself in May of 2019 in this beautiful home, counting change for groceries.
Wow. Hold that thought.
Like change.
Hold that thought. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break because I want to hear the whole story. Take a break. We'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Light up your new year with a top-rated luxury SUV from Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 XT4 Luxury Collection for $319 a month, the new 2021 XT5 Luxury Collection for $399 a month, or the new 2021 XT6 Luxury Collection for $459 a month. All for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Amazing things for you.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back with Damon Coleman. Damon, let's talk about 2019 counting change.
Counting change, yes, sir. Not knowing what change was coming. But yeah, man, I mean, my wife and I, we have this trash can. It's a green trash can she had probably from college, man. She's been dragging this thing from one place to the next. we have been throwing change into this trash can in the closet for years, man.
Yes.
Just, taking the clothes off, getting, throwing the change and just keep going, and so when I sold my multi-level marketing company, I sold it for $2.5 million. However, the company out of that $2.5 million was paying $900,000 of our debt. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, they gave us a small amount. My business partner and I, we got $100,000 up front. And after going through pretty much hell and back with the company, that was just really enough money to catch up on some bills. So when the merge was completed, now the rest of the money would be paid out based on the additional production that we brought. Smart move for the company not to pay us all our money up front. And a decision for us, we didn't have a choice so that we could continue to move our mission forward with our product. Well, less than 90 days in, we stopped getting paid our royalty. Then the commission check came late. And we know as owners of just having our own company, the last thing a company will do is pay the sales force late. So I couldn't even promote the opportunity anymore, Cam, because I'm like, why would I bring you into something where I know you might not get paid?
Right.
But to the internal distribution channel, the company's selling a ton of my product and I'm still not getting paid. Okay. So by May, I'm in the closet and I realized if we don't get this money directly deposited into our account tomorrow, we won't have any money at all.
Mm-hmm.
See, my wife is an MD, but she had practiced in a couple of years at this time. She been at home with her children, man. We have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they're a job all by themselves. And so
Right.
she had been at home, and she had started looking for something because I told her, I said, I don't know what's about to happen. I said, but get on the lookout just in case, even if you go back part time. And so
Right.
all of a sudden, man, that time came, and all of a sudden I realized we didn't have any money. And so I threw my change in the bucket. I said, oh, okay. But I didn't wait. I didn't go right then and there. I waited till 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to Walmart and I dumped that change inside of one of those money counting machines.
Right. Right.
So wouldn't nobody see me, man.
Yeah.
And by the time that joker got finished loading up, I had over $400. Man, I went grocery shopping and we figured it out. But by December of 2019, I got introduced to an amazing company with one of my former business partners where I was able within my first 90 days to get over 6 figures a month in income. And that was a dream come true. I've been in network marketing for over 12 years. And that was always been an accomplishment that that always been a goal I wanted to accomplish because I'd seen it. You know, some of my friends that's done it. You know, some of my friends have made over $1 million, Cam,
Yes.
in 30 days. And
Yeah.
so even after owning my own company, when I owned my own MLM, man, I had distributors that was making more money than me because, you know, leaders eat last.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so now back as a distributor to be able to do that, that's what allowed me to be able to relaunch Essentiables, to be able to get this mission and this brand going, even though it almost cost me everything. And it was at the moment it cost me everything that I realized that it meant everything to me to keep this mission going. Not just to help our women and children, man. I know that sounds commendable, but the reality of it is I need to secure my own family's legacy
Right.
and dynasty through a real residual opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to do both at the same time, I could never quit. I could never quit on my family and I could never quit on society, man, in terms of bringing something that I believe is going to change millions of women's lives.
I'm so glad you said 2019. The reason is because of the pandemic. 40 million people are unemployed at this time, plus 40 million plus people, right? Going through the same process, the same thought process. And we talked before the show about never giving up because, of course, you're lying in the bed, especially the husband because he's the head, supposed to be the one to lead, and he's gotten laid off, you know, his 6-figure job, you know, 5-figure, whatever the job was, and no longer a job at all. I liked what you said. You kept going.
Yeah, I kept going, man. I mean, you know, life in general
Yeah.
has had a share of demands
Yeah.
in terms of the lessons we have to learn to become the people we want to become. And then some of those lessons cost us so much that, you know, we give up because of the price that we had to pay. That's why I don't look down on homeless people anymore. I don't look down on anybody, man, because I understand it's only but the grace of God that I have the strength and courage and tenacity to keep picking myself up. But a lot of that came through hardships, man. I got child abuse as a kid. My stepfather got us out of the projects and put us in a whole nother type of jungle, you know, but that taught me something, you know, growing up in the neighborhood where you had to fend for yourself and you didn't have much, that taught me something. And so a lot of men and women now coming through this pandemic, life hasn't really taught them so much in terms of adversity. And now they're having a tough time. Man, I understand. But what I also understand is you needed this to happen for you to go to that next level in life and in leadership. And if you could just put one foot in front of the other, just do the small thing that you know to do, not all this other stuff that people are telling you to do. Do the small things that you know to do day to day to get in the right mental state.
Right.
Man, just to keep going.
Yes.
Because this is about your mindset, guys. It's not the money we're after, it's the mindset. And when you go through a crippling experience in your finances, man, your mind can get jacked up. So I
Yes.
listen to personal development every day. I listen to these old school dudes, most of them old white guys like Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill. I'm on Bob Proctor right now. I like my Eric Thomas and my Les Browns. I love those guys and what they're doing, but I need that. I need that, guys. I need to, because mentally, if you're not in a good mental health, emotional state, man, I don't care what you got going on.
Right.
You're not going to be able to take it to the next level. And if you cannot get in that the space of good mental health, man, you're doomed. And
You are.
so my brother, my sister, my cousin, my neighbor, whoever you are listening,
Yeah.
man, don't give up.
Yeah,
Do not
that's
give up.
it. That's it. That's it. Because it's hard at this point getting out of bed sometimes. You know what I'm saying? When you have just been told the 40 million people plus unemployed. And then, of course, you've got the pandemic. And many of them were furloughed saying they were supposed to come back. But of course, their companies closed.
Listen, man, this is why I'm not shy of network marketing. And this is why I never gave up on network marketing, because I've been through hell and back in the traditional business world. So what's the difference in going through it here? If you have the vision to be able to see that what you want is attainable somewhere, man, shame on you if you don't go after it with everything that you have. Now, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. I didn't know about network marketing. Guys, I didn't. And I thank God I didn't find out as a kid, because I wouldn't have been focused enough to see it through. When you're in a position where you need to do something and your back is up against the wall, it kind of forces you to have a bit of an open mind. So for many of you who are going through it right now, watching this, I'm glad that you're going through it, because it's going to force you to think differently, to operate differently than what you had in the past. You can only get the results you've had based on what you already know.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get some different results, well, now it's time to learn something new. And it might not be network marketing, guys. It might not be, but it needs to be something that you can do, guys, that nobody can take from you at the drop of a dime. Something you can do on your own time, something you can do, guys, that will cost you very little in terms of getting started, but have a great potential of getting you ahead. So I mean, whatever it may be, I choose the vehicle of network marketing because typically, as I'm coming up out of the mud and getting clean and dusting myself off, I'm bringing some people with me. That's the only way you make money in my industry. It is the fastest way to become financially free in the United States of America. So it doesn't care if you're a doctor, a
Right.
lawyer, it doesn't care if you're a convicted felon like me. Guys, I served time in prison and I didn't go past the 12th grade. And I've been able to have my wife at home with her children more than she's been practicing medicine. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm saying that because I'm proud. My wife loves being a pediatrician. She works part-time just because she don't want to stop serving. She works in the most underserved communities in Atlanta, Georgia, in the hood since day one. And so we believe in giving back. We believe in servicing our community. However, we have the responsibility to service our children first. And so, have an open mind, guys, because it's those opportunities sometimes we overlook or we look past, that be the very ones that could potentially change our lives. And so I appreciate the openness, man, and you
Yeah,
allowing me to be
absolutely.
transparent about what I do.
I was so excited when I was reading this. Shout out to Ebony for sending you to us and just introducing Essentiables. Just to know a man, a guy says, hey, this is what ladies need. This is what they need now to protect themselves. It was refreshing.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm excited. I'm forever grateful for Ebony. They've been working with me because I have a influencer campaign that I'll be launching with Essentiables. I believe social media is one of the fastest ways to get your word and your
Yes.
messaging out. And so EPI, as you call it, Epi
Yeah.
Media Group, They are very well connected with some of the largest influencers in the world. And so they're working with me, not just on making these relationships, but even on some of the branding and other traditional media outlets, such as this amazing interview with you today, man. So I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have a book, a memoir coming out. Let's talk about Street Dreams.
Yeah, man. So Street Dreams is a memoir that's been completed since December 2013. I'm a firm believer in timing, in terms of releasing anything.
Hmm.
And because this is so valuable to me in terms of my story, man, I get very, very naked in my book in terms of sharing my past. It's not, it's a lot of things that I'm not proud of. I have children, so I have to be mindful of that. But at the same time, I believe that my story is so powerful that there's going to be some young boys, some young girls, man, that are going to be reading it, and they're going to be living. They're going to, how should I say this? They're going to see their lives in mine. They're going to
Yes.
see the struggle, but they're also going to see the hopes and the possibilities of the victory
Hmm.
because I didn't do anything the way society told me I had to do it to become the success that I am today. Though I still have a very long way to go, I still live in 95% of the United States of America's dream in terms of the type of income that we've been able to produce post prison. So
Right.
I have a responsibility to get it out, man, and I'm nervously excited because again, you're putting your life out there, the
Right.
judgment, the assumptions, people thinking they know you because of your past and different things, and then launching such a huge product and being so public. It's like, will this hurt the sales of your company? And I'm just at a place where I believe that what God has for me is for me, and that if my story is going to discourage someone or how can I say, if it's going to turn somebody off from wanting to do business with me, well, that's their loss,
Hmm.
because I believe for all the people that it can help, it'll be worth it for the ones who, don't feel like I'm their cup of tea, you know.
Yeah. What I love about your story, I looked at, like I said, several videos and things about it. Many people are coming out of prison right now, and then they need something. And just looking at it is just inspiring. Just not people coming out of prison, but, and I'm not talking about the building prison. Some people are in prison mindset, in prison in relationships, in prison in different things. Everyone might has their own prison. And in reading your story, they can see themselves as moving forward. Keep going. I love that about you. When you say just keep
Thank you,
going.
Jack. Thank you, man. And keep going sounds good, but you need some tools, guys.
Yes.
You need some tools. And so I'm going to share some tools with you that have absolutely changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. The number one tool, guys, is your mind. It's your mind. And it's how we sharpen this tool and retrain the subconscious mind that helps us to keep going. Number one book of all times, guys, that have absolutely changed my life. And for all my super spiritual people here, yes, I believe in God, I believe in the Bible, but this is some practical information I want to give some people today. Not spiritual, practical. Practical book number one, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It has changed my life. James Allen is like the godfather of personal development. So all these other guys you've heard about, you've listened to over the years, they've studied from James Allen. As a Man Thinketh. And I will quote the preface, and that is, mind is the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind. And forevermore he takes the tool of thought and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. We think in secret, and it comes to pass. Our environment is but our looking glass. Guys, whatever you put inside of your mind, whatever you're thinking about, that's what you're going to bring about. And I know that sounds cliche ish, but learning how to master your thoughts You're going to learn how to master your results. Not perfectly, but far better than the average human becoming. And so I would strongly encourage you to read that. I would strongly encourage you to read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements. And book number 3, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Okay? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read those 3 books all year. Don't read nothing else. That's it.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back with Mr. Damon Coleman.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Light up your new year with a top-rated luxury SUV from Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 XT4 Luxury Collection for $319 a month, the new 2021 XT5 Luxury Collection for $399 a month, or the new 2021 XT6 Luxury Collection for $459 a month. All for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
Amazing things for you.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, family, we're back with Mr. Damon Coleman. Damon, people were asking for the books again, that list.
Wow. Yeah, well, man, I'm super excited about the book. I hired a ghostwriter. She is absolutely amazing, and she's friends with some very famous people that she's ghostwritten for as well. So my book is going to get produced into a movie, man.
Wow.
And I just feel like, it's like my book. Like if I never sold one copy, I'm happy. I'm happy that I got it out of me. However, it's not only educational, just watching the journey. Man, it's entertaining, man. I had a very colorful childhood, stories after stories. Man, I tell you, they dropped me off somewhere and I got content for days. But she told me, she said, this is a movie, Damon. And she said, you could produce a really good movie for $300,000 to $500,000. And I would even help you do it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna remember that. But no, I'm excited about it, man. God has been good to me. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I have not figured quite a few things out as of yet.
Yeah.
But the things that I have, man, they have done me well. The things I have not, well, they have done me well also because I've been able to learn from those experiences. And I'm in a position now where I'm able to teach.
I love that. You are a true motivational speaker. You speak about a lot of things, but what I love is you help people too. And this is the hardest thing for most of us is that letting go of people, letting go of friends, letting go of family, letting go of negativity, letting go, you know what I'm saying? You speak on that quite strongly and great.
Thank you, man. That's painful.
Yeah.
Cam, it's painful. It's painful even still to this day because I'm still letting go.
Yeah.
And I'm letting go because I'm starting to love me more, man.
Yeah.
I'll be 45 this year. I've lost some very close friends, starting at the time of a teenager. And losing friends now, it feels different.
Yeah.
It feels different than it ever has. And so I've made some decisions over the last couple of years that me first, man, me first.
Yeah.
I'm big on studying the law about a vibration. The law of vibration is the foundational law of the law of attraction. The law of vibration determines everything moves, nothing rests. So we're all about energy. And so when you're not feeling good, it's because your energy, you're on a low frequency, you're vibrating low. And oftentimes the company that we keep has a lot to do with how high or low we vibrate. You
Right.
might notice you're having a great day all by yourself.
Right.
And then when you come in the presence of someone else, it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to go to bed, or I just want to, you know, I
Yes.
just want to get lost, and it's like, what happened? You allowed that person to lower your vibration. So the challenge is you might love this person
Yeah.
and you might live with this person,
Yeah.
or you might work with this person. And unfortunately, if you continue to put yourself in that environment, you become that person.
You have to say that again.
Thus changing, thus changing, thus changing your personality. And when you change your personality, you change your personal reality. Therefore, you're not attracting who you need and what you need to be all that you can and go as far as you can go. And I just refuse, man. If anybody's going to hold Coleman back, it would be me. I'm not going to let it be Cam. I'm not letting it. It's not going to be anybody else on the planet. And I realize after reading As a Man Thinketh that I am responsible. After reading the 4 agreements, I am responsible for how I feel, not anybody else. So I have to protect myself, man. I have to protect my mind, because remember, that's the master power that molds and makes everything that we want. And so I am loving me more and more,
And it's not
and
selfish.
enjoying me, man.
And
It's
that's not being
not.
selfish. We got to understand that. People got to understand it's not selfish to love yourself. You got to love yourself first to love anybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. If you don't love you, how you going to love other people? You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's for me, man. I mean, I have a very small circle of, I won't say friends. That's the obvious. The older you get, the smaller that gets. But in terms of my social life, it's very, 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 very small, because I do have some friends that I'm not that social with because they're negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a spirit of negativity. They complain. They're ungrateful. They don't look for the how can I say, the solution. They're always focusing on the problem. And I have to talk to those guys, in small doses.
Yeah.
And I have to see them in small increments
Right.
of time.
Yeah.
So when I find myself now, man, I spend a lot of time with myself, man.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time, and it's healthy time.
Yeah.
Because I'm a thinker. It gives me time to think and process different, things that are happening throughout my life, instead of always, I'm in a conversation with this person, I'm hanging out with this. No, by the time I hang out with somebody, man, it's fun. I mean, it's cool.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
But that's the good part about it. That's what I love about just reading your story, seeing you, hearing you, and just the positive the whole way.
You ain't all positive. But I work on keeping a positive state of mind,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. And I know I've gotten my own way for years. And so now I'm consciously aware of the words that I say, because I found out if I say something long enough, I become exactly that. So I'm
Yes.
very mindful of what comes out of my mouth, man. I'm mindful of what I say about me. I'm mindful of what I say about you, because I found out that if I say something bad about you, I'm actually saying something bad about me. Thus the
Yes.
4 agreements. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, I'm going to tell you something, man. I mean, oh my gosh. Dude, we can talk about this all day. I
Yes.
love personal development, Cam,
Yes.
because it forces you. It forces you to look in the mirror every day.
Yes.
Stop looking at other people. Stop talking about. The more you read these books that I'm referring or suggesting to you guys, the less judgmental you will become.
Yes. 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 Absolutely.
Yes, and the better people you will attract.
Yes.
People who are non-judgmental. Do you notice they got a bunch of friends like in
Yeah.
high places? You
Yeah.
know, man, I used to struggle being around homosexuals, man. That doesn't bother me anymore
Yeah.
because they're people. They need love.
Right. Right.
Everybody needs love. I
Yes.
don't care. Man, white people, my mama had me thinking they was all devils when I was a kid until she became a bona fide, until she became a born again Christian. And so, I have white friends, man. I have people from all walks of life because everybody is where they are either by their birthright or by some way of circumstance. Either way it goes, it's none of my business. And what I've learned to do, man, is to do my best to be all things to all people. I don't compromise who I am or what I believe, but my life has nothing to do with yours and yours nothing to do with mine. The best I could do is be an example, man, or an educator, not a judger, not a condemner, but an example or an educator of how people can improve their lives. And again, I believe it all comes down to mindset. And the more I've grown as a person and looking into myself, the less I have anything negative to say about anybody's way of life. That's why I love homeless people. When I have enough time, I will go around interviewing homeless people. And after the interview, been able to provide some type of aid and assistance to these people if they want it. But I
Right.
always want to know how, man. How did you get here?
Right.
What happened? Because if I'm finding out there's some common, you know, denominators, amongst these guys, then just maybe my company can come up with some solutions to help people when they get to that place,
Right.
right at that place. Because at that moment in time, they had to decide were they going to react to life or were they going to respond? And most of these people decided to react. Most of these
Absolutely.
people reacted. They didn't respond to life. I'm responding right now. Thank God I have it in me. You're
Yes.
responding right
Yes.
now, Cam, to whatever bombshell is going off in your life. But what if you reacted, sir? What if
Yeah.
I reacted?
Right.
What would that cost us? And so finding out, man, what was it? What was that final straw? What was that final blow that took you out? Because you got geniuses who are homeless. Geniuses, very successful, brilliant, entrepreneurial minded, and even corporate minded people who are begging and looking for food every single day. So, no, man, I love the messaging. I love the platform that you have. I'll be honored to come back on your show, Cam. Man, it's been great.
It
This
has.
interview has been absolutely amazing, brother. And I'm committed, man. I'm
I
committed.
appreciate you
So,
so
every step of
much.
the journey,
Yeah.
I'm committed to share it. So anytime, brother, anytime.
Absolutely. Tell us how they can contact you. What platforms do you have? Your social media and your website.
Well, for all of my conservative bougie folks on Facebook, you can find me at Demond Coleman. My name is spelled here, guys. Demond, last name Coleman. I am on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. You're going to get more of my exclusive content on Instagram. The engagement just seems to be a little bit better. But I'm at Demond Coleman on IG. I would love for you guys to follow me. We will be launching Essentiables this fall. So if you go to shopessentiables.com, you're not going to be able to buy anything, but I know this interview may be around for a very long time. So I
Yes.
wanted to at least give a plug on shopessentiables.com. Thanks again. I
I
appreciate you, Cam.
appreciate you so much, my friend. This has been great fun as usual with anyone Ebony sends us. You are the best. We'll do
Thank
it
you,
again.
man. I
We'll talk
appreciate
to
you.
you soon. Appreciate you so much. On
Been a pleasure.
tomorrow. Thank you so much, buddy. On tomorrow. Well, let's say Friday. Lorenza Butler and Jacorian Smith, the youngest entrepreneur that I've had on here before. And we call Lorenza Butler the publisher. 12:30 to 1:30 Central Standard Time. Bye.